Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's carry on where we left off. Inspector Hosonaga is about to serve up the killing blow in the form of a plate of steak. And while both the murder and the meal may both have been well done, and that they're both tough, hard to cut through, and tough to digest, I believe we will prevail because Hosonaga did it all in the name of justice. Let's finish this. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! She looks taken aback. Certainly, this is the end of her rope. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Go on, fetch. I want to see it with my own eyes, in color. Oh my god, there it is. It's a couple of days old, no? I hope you refrigerated it in the meantime. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't. It's a well-done steak. It's not juicy at all. No one likes well done.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man! Show the court! The blood man. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Examining. There's no blood. Oh, no. No. No blood? Are we misremembering, Ryunosuke? No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Where's it gone? Don't tell me she licked it while it was in his pocket. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Oh dear. You see? This is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Ah! I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire, I guess we shouldn't trust anything you say either, ouchie. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial, racism notwithstanding. Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Oh, we're gone. We're so close yet so far every time. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Well, I've got nothing to lose. The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. The meal Miss Britt ordered for lunch was removed from the victim's table after the incident. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. No, there's gotta be something. Find it. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. This is not his steak. Right. Because didn't Hosonaga say he collected both the sergeant's steak and Miss Brett's steak? No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait. Did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bullion. I can't say I have either. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means it's not his steak! Or her steak, sorry. Because Dr. Wilson did not order the steak. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Yeah, well, you've given up a few times too, you know. I had to spur you into action. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Well, the way forward, it seems to be on the desk. Believe in myself? Really? I'm just gonna believe in myself and we're just gonna win the case. Save the day, is that it? Is that it? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Yes, I believe there's one more piece of evidence we need to review, Your Excellency, and that is the actual plate of steak that I saw. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. I promise. Stay tuned.
Objection! Ah, for fuck's sake, the shocking truth again? You're obviously shocked by the truth that you did it, okay? The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. You better get used to looking at it, because that's all you're gonna be doing, because we're gonna be serving you mush at the jail cell. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence, no matter how many times the defense likes to stall. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I'd like to say that there's a lot of reasonable doubt still, but, you know, I'm just a defense lawyer in training, kind of, not really, it's not even my major. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Fuck you, Miss Brett. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beef steak is this new clue to be found? Yeah, it's right here. I'm not pointing at the steak, I'm pointing underneath it, just for your information so I don't get penalized. Got it! No, Counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify a detail like this, you must do so knowing there's a penalty for mistakes. For God's sake, I gotta spell everything. I gotta spoon feed you this literal steak, Your Excellency. Alright, Your Excellency, since you don't want to get your hands dirty, I have lifted the steak for you, and now I present the Koban coin. Good gracious, that's appalling. Is that a hash brown underneath the steak? Koban? What on earth? Ahoy arrow on it, that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? Shut up! Oh, now you're telling me to shut up now. What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. Objection! Oh, you're gonna wish that was your steak, my lady. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? So what? Maybe she was making a wish. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Objection! Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hawaii Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip my ticket up to Great Britain right now! He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency! Yes, Counsel? A rare Hawaii Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now! Objection! You just copied him! By all means, don't let us stop you! No one invited you anyway! Gosh, just like that woman from earlier! Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? You're right, I am irrelevant. You're the one who's actual guilty party. Ugh. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is Curio Correcta, Your Excellency. I present to you him, the 67-year-old. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Correcta-san. Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. That's why they just called me Judge. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Kaban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. That's right. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoy Era Kaban, my prized coin. Then this Hoy Era Kaban. Do you mean to tell me?
Objection! I'm just gonna keep objecting, Your Excellency. No, please. Why would correct the San's Kaban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Is he a magician now? Is he just disappearing coins into people's food?
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring correct the San back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Oh, even the sergeant's coming in because he's gonna have to confess that he stole the coin. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch. A strong hunch. That if we chased out the real significance of this Kaban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Don't tell me it's another to be continued. Whew. This witness stand is awfully busy. There's 5 people. Or 4.5 if you want to be more accurate.
What's this all about? Why have we been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were. Like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique, which is why I've pulled out my knife in front of the judge, even though that's probably illegal. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Corrector-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ryunosuke memory serves, have you ever seen this Kabako? That's... Yes, that's the one, the very one, the very exact one that it is.
Did Nosa just get stabbed in the foot?
The resplendent, splendoriferous away treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day.
It can't be.
As I thought. Young man, are you listening to me? I said, young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere per se. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
I mean, what was the plan? Like, what happens once you finish your steak? There's just a big giant coin lathered in beef juice. Like, was he gonna shove it in his mouth and just pretend he was munching and then he went for a bathroom break or something?
Somebody concealed my Hoy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. No objections from Alchie? Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course, by all means. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. Yeah, Operation what exactly?
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners.
Was there a serial burglar on the loose?
Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Correctasan's Koban is all too clear.
What?
Yeah, he's been shifty, actually, while Inspector Hosonaga was explaining his role as an undercover officer. Oh, sorry, he's not being shifty, but his mustache is being tugged a lot. What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Correctasan's Koban and hid it under the stake? There he is, it's Iesanosa, an army sergeant of the Empire of Japan who witnessed the incident.
Take that!
Maybe he was too busy trying to conceal that coin. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iesanosa!
What? How? How dare you, you monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Aido! Aido's the mastermind behind all this!
What a great father, selling his son down the river. Well. Oh. You would push the blame for your crimes on your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa, unless your mustache is made of 24-karat gold. I can't see why your son would be a thief.
Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop! Gah!
Oh, God. Just cracked his back. Whoa. Oh, Aido. Oh, my God. Get this kid a handkerchief.
Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Iesanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
Do I get bonus points for solving another crime, Your Excellency?
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages of the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe?
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes.
All I want is to put a hot meal on my table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? Maybe stop dining at high-end restaurants.
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for our targets. And I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. Like I said, someone was eating a steak like a freaking barbarian. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban.
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Bang. And then you cooperated with the police, so suspicion would go elsewhere. Considering there was a bigger crime at stake, no pun intended. Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double.
Ah, okay, I see. That's why you shoved it under the steak. You had it in your pocket first.
I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Well, you certainly have. Just be careful what you wish for. It's in the court of law.
This is the 3rd time I've sighed today. In this episode, anyway.
It's a lot of dots. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
Oh, T-pose.
May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Guys, did this sail all over your guys' heads? Sergeant Nosa literally said he hid the coin under his steak. And where did we find the coin? Under a steak. That is presumably his. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well... As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. You Japanese. So feral. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Again. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Don't let her leave! Hold it! And good day. Object, Ryunosuke! I see you. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? God, I love this theme so much. It's so good. It's so powerful. You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Yeah, that's right. Adopt the strategy that Phoenix Wright would adopt 10 years... well, not 10 years later. 100 years later, more like. Think later. Act now. Object, and then come up with the answer on the fly. Hold it! Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now, you rapscallion? I'm afraid. Just one last time, I think. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection! What new student nonsense is this? She didn't even testify. This isn't even a cross-examination. How could you have a contradiction? This is against the gameplay rules, Your Excellency.
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? The steak. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. I wonder, is that actually a thing? Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I did mention, like, probably in the first episode, right? I was like, what a vulgar way to eat that steak. Like, it wasn't even cut properly. It looked like it was munched on. Is that actually coming into play right now? I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Hang on, let me think about this. I don't want to present the wrong thing. It's gotta be this, right? This is the one that looks like it's been munched on. So let's present this. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
I can't believe it. It actually does. I noticed that. I thought it was just a peculiar detail. I was just like, oh, you know, they just drew a random steak. But no, it's actually been eaten like a barbarian. It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Oh! I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at this steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. Does that look like it's been cut up with a knife and fork to you? As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks. Yeah, he used my word! Oh. It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection! But what is her actual point? Are you saying she's a fake English woman that she's eating like a barbarian? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help her. I wouldn't be caught dead eating steak like that, even if it results in my jail time. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, this will all be over in a blink of an eye.
You're damn right it will be. Let me conduct a swift execution of this trial.
Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything. I've heard enough. Your irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, I do. Yes. Now, at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks on a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And it's pretty clever, too. If you look at the court record, this particular steak here, the one we presume has blood on it, you could barely see the monochromatic blood there. It's hidden away, the latter half of the steak, behind Dr. Wilson's body. But over here, you get to see the full thing. This is obviously after it's been switched. So I thought that's a neat detail as well. They've really outdone themselves. I like it. I'm actually going to have to pay attention at everything I see. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What? What else is there?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought? I'm so hungry I could eat that steak right there. There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't believe you. You're bluffing.
Objection!
We need to work on that objection, Ryunosuke. Come on. I know we're finally getting used to saying it, but goodness me, we can do better. We need to put our lungs into it, you know? I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. Oh. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Who else? The inspector, of course.
Take that!
The crime scene thief. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're voluntarily doing it. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Correctasan's coin. I'm stuttering because we're so close to the truth. He told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Yeah, well, apparently he got low wages, so what does that tell you? Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake?
Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her mail to hide something in it.
In other words, the stake the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. Why was it on her table? That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest.
Is this really a paradox? I don't know. We'll chalk it up to still learning terms.
That the sergeant switched the two steaks over? You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it.
Just like she panicked and took the glass that probably contained poison.
But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. My voice was misread all over the place. I'm so sorry.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done.
Unbelievable! Well,
however, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. So, that to preserve evidence, he had taken both. I thought that was a strange sentence for him to say, right? Uh-oh. That's correct. Then please, present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot!
Shut up!
What could that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? I can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon. Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. I don't miss much. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Sure thing. Yes, sir. Well, look at that neat cut. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. And looky there, there's the blood. Please, feel free to examine it. Well, it's pretty obvious. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at that moment the victim was shot. He was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Huh! It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is, but I'm willing to present her profile to you, Your Excellency, if you'd prefer. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! There you are. The finger point of doom. You've got no choice. Oh? How done? By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No, no. Ooh. Oh! Oh dear! Oh! Oh! Oh God! Oh! Ah! I live for Ace Attorney breakdowns. Oh, you're not going to heaven, lady. Don't you dare! Well, at least we got a bunch of chicks out of this trial. It's over. Confess. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. Oh God, she's gonna brag about it, is she? It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and then it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, I saw her. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you'd decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I'd lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. But where was the gun? I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Oh, it was under her skirt, not under her hat. Well, I'm 1 for 2. I did call out the steak, though. Under you skirt? He's so shocked he forgot how to say your.
So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yeah, because you found the one on the floor. You couldn't have fired it if it was in your hands when she shot him, right?
Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, she fired. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. And that is the truth of this case. All my truth bullets have been fired. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor? You're kidding me. It's a felony.
Misdemeanor would be freaking spilling your water on someone's lap. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder... might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you.
Really? Seriously? She's a criminal.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone.
She's a murderer! Your Honor, don't drink anything she gives you.
Sorry, Your Excellency. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. No. You've told me to shut up twice, just as I was getting close to presenting conclusive evidence it was you. Don't give me that fake ice-cold smile. I can't see your crow's feet eyes. Well, there she goes. In cuffs, I hope. Whew, we did it! Our first case. We survived! It would seem that this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Takatsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? Yes, that's my name. That's my full name.
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Don't cut his head off! Oh my god!
Oh no. I was about to say, are we gonna give him a haircut? That is one long sword. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as their accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. I'm hungry. Kazuma Asogi? Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo... Oh, yes? In you, I sense... how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Whew. Go on, read it out. Pronounce me not guilty. Let's hear it. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Okay, not confetti, but cherry blossoms. I'll take that, actually. It's prettier. Whew. We did it. We did it! That was a fun case. This court is now adjourned, and that was just the first case. I can't wait to see the complexities of the other one. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendant, Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Our trusty judicial assistant. He worked hard for that result too, you know. Yeah, without that report, you know, we were doomed. Considering no one had ever heard of Kirari this side of the world.
Oh no, I didn't do any.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense.
She's got a very pleasant smile. Speaking of Mikotoba. Oh, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Huh? Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already. With my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. Don't tell me she's going to get off just because of shaky diplomatic relations. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. Oh, she's being shanghaied. Oh, that's even worse. Wait, she's going to prison, right? She's not going for vacation? What? Shanghai? Was that what she talked to the judge about? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Who's that now? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. But it was a foreigner killing a foreigner on foreign soil. So, I don't know how the rules apply there. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. The game was afoot. I don't believe it. Let's just be happy that we're not guilty. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming. And we're the ones driving it. Alright. Let's go, team. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? You can't be right. No way. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're undercover, and you caught your culprit. Why are you even still there?
Not to mention, I get PTSD just walking through those doors. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san. Aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Ah, Susato, you ought to come too. Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, not even gonna invite her? Jeez. Well, so Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Until later on, probably the last case of the game. Kasuba. Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Don't say that. Well, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. Just tell me you're going to be a good mentor, okay? You're not going to die like Mia or go to jail like Christoph. Okay, please. Stay with me. I did what you told me to, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. That's when the corner track plays. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts. And because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma. Appreciate that. Really.
How many times can I say thank you? There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. You want me to go to Great Britain in your stead?
Sounds serious. What is...
You're still here, are you?
So are you.
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Jeez, we were talking. Serious business. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget! Ah, yes, that too. Alright. Please tell me that later. So my very first trial came to an end. Just like that. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. No thanks to the judge, or Algie, but more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize, for fuck's sake, I would never find out just how much it would change my life. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. And hooray! Case 1 done! Alright, let's see what else this game has to offer. Defense debut.